Good morning, everyone. We welcome our Premier of the Virgin Islands, Dr. the Honorable D. Orlando Smith. Deputy Governor, Mrs. Inez V. Archibald, CBE. And our Chairman of the Committee for E-Government, Honorable Marlon Penn. At this time, please keep standing. We'll have the prayer. And that is by Minister Norma Chowell, Church of God of Prophecy, Hope Hill.
Good morning. Shall we pray? O Lord, our God, how excellent is your name in all the earth, who have set us above the heavens. When I consider the heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained. What is man that thou art mindful of him, and the Son of Man that thou visitest him? God, our Father, we have come before you today to give you glory and honor. You are a great God. You are worthy of our praise. Father, we thank you for this day. This is the day that you have made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. You are the source of all that is good. You are the source of all our blessings. We thank you for every gift that you have given unto us. Father, we have come today to say thank you for the official launch of our government e-website. One government, one website, one online presence. We thank you for those persons who have worked diligently to make this day a reality, and we ask for your continued blessings upon the government of the Virgin Islands as they continue to provide service to the people of this territory and to the entire world. May this website be a source of information to all who will use it. Bless our proceedings this day, and may we always remember to give thanks to you, who gives inspiration, guidance, wisdom, and understanding. Father, continue to bless the people of these Virgin Islands, and may we always be grateful to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. Premier and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable D. Orlando Smith, OBE. Minister for Health and Social Development, Honorable Ronnie W. Skelton. Minister for Communications and Works, Honorable Mark Vanterpool. Deputy Governor, Mrs. Inez V. Archibald, CBE. Member for the House of Assembly, Honorable Archibald Christian. Member for the House of Assembly and Chairman of the E-Government Steering Committee, Honorable Marlon Penn. Permanent Secretaries, Director of the Department of IT, Information Technology, Mrs. Annabelle Skelton, and your team, Minister Norma Chowell from the Church of God of Prophecy, Hope Hill, public officers, members of the media, citizens and residents, businesses and visitors to these Virgin Islands who are listening to us via ZBVI Radio, good morning. Welcome to the official launch of our newly transformed website, www.bvi.gov.vg, under the theme, One Government, One Website, One Official Online Presence. I am your chairperson for today. I am the Director of Communications, Arlene T. Penn, with the Government of the Virgin Islands, and I know that many of you are glued to your seats, awaiting the official word that the website has been officially launched so that you could click to see what's in store for you, and we thank you. This morning, you will hear from three speakers: Honorable Premier, followed by our Deputy Governor, and the Chairman, Honorable Penn. This will be followed by the launch of the website, where Premier Smith will give you the green light to log on to www.bvi.gov.vg, and then there you will see a simulation exercise where it will help you to navigate the pages. Then we will take a couple of questions. from the media if there are questions. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, let us welcome our Premier and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable D. Orlando Smith, OBE, Minister responsible for information, and as Finance Minister, he is responsible for technology. Let us welcome our Honorable Premier.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. I'd like to recognize the Deputy Governor, Mrs. Ines Archibald, and my colleagues, Minister of Health, the Honorable Ronnie W. Skelton, Minister of Communication, the Honorable Mark Van der Poel, Mr. Honorable Archibald Christian, Member at Large, and of course, the Honorable Marlon Penn, the member for the 8th District. I also like to recognize the members of the various ministries and departments who have worked on the e-government website and the press. Good morning, all. When I asked Honorable Penn to take the helm and introduce e-government to the territory, there was no doubt in my mind that he could make it happen. With his knack for technology and him wanting to see government well placed in the technological space, I asked him to serve as chairman of the steering committee to make it happen. Now here we are today to launch a new transformed e-government website, www.bvi.gov.vg, your portal to government's information, news, and services. This direction was important. You see, prior to this moment, we had more than 30 websites. This means that more than 30 look and feel of government, more than 30 layouts. This means that more than 30 ideas of the government brand and more than 30 web addresses for the public to remember about one government. There are no commonalities, no central point of access to government services. What was even more challenging was that the websites were created by several different companies who had all varying technology, programs that were not even compatible with that of our IT department. Well, I do understand that government offices were making valiant efforts to ensure that they provided information to the public. The downside for us was lack of consistency, the absence of unified branding, and maintaining these more than 30 websites were costly, well into the thousands. So today is important. Today is about one government, one website, one official online presence. We now have all our ministries, our departments, our services, our information, our forms, and our news all in one location. We now have an avenue to ensure consistency. We now have one look and one feel. We now have the opportunity to increase our efficiency. We are ensuring greater transparency to operations, services, and processes. We have now joined governments throughout the region and the world in using technology to improve the operation of government. This newly transformed website will position us as a modern entity, thus improving our international presence and global face. In a short while, you will navigate the pages and learn about greater opportunities for increased awareness and participation in government. In a short while, you will have instant access to useful tools such as application forms for entry into schools, using government buildings, displaying banners, applying for jobs in public service, and much more. Whether needed for clarification on import permits, clearing of vessels certificates of good standing, the forms and instructions will be online. In a short while, ladies and gentlemen, you will be exposed to the most current information regarding new services, projects, and newsworthy events. For students, it means that no longer will they have to call several offices to find information or images for research projects. For businesses, our transformed websites will provide easy and quick access to information to keep your business operations running smoothly and efficiently. There's something for everyone, for our citizens, our residents, our visitors, and our public offices. For those residing on the sister islands, my government is committed to bringing services to you. I know that you have been waiting for a long time for online services, and I am pleased that we can now meet you where you are. Ladies and gentlemen, today's launch does not end here. The process requires feedback from all of you, to ensure that we are hitting your mark. And while today we'll only have access to forms and content, I can assure you that around the bend is the completion of the second phase of this project, which includes purchasing and payments online when it is convenient to you. I urge you to look out for that new campaign titled, "Why Wait in Line? Get Online." Ladies and gentlemen, my government has always been accountable to you, and this is just one more mechanism that we have put in place to do so. I want to thank the chairman of the E-Government Committee, the Honorable Marlon Penn, and the members of the E-Government Committee, including permanent secretaries and heads of departments, for their unwavering efforts to bring us to this point. I especially want to commend Mrs. Annabelle Skelton and her team at DeWitt for stepping up to the plate and surpassing my expectations. Honorable Penn felt that you could make it happen. We'd also like to thank the team from GIS and web administrators from the Ministry of Finance and the Stanley Nibs Technical School for making this happen. I'm pleased to say that we do not have to bring anyone in to make it happen, because the expertise that we needed was right here in front of us. Today is indeed a new day, and a day when we as a government are taking customer service to another level. In a few minutes, I'll give it a green light to log on to www.bvi.gov.vg, your portal, the government's information use and services. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Premier. And we now call our Deputy Governor, Mrs. Inez V. Archibald, CBE.
Good morning. I would like to adopt the protocol that has been established, but I would especially recognize the presence of the Honorable Premier, Dr. the Honorable D. Orlando Smith, OBE, the Minister for Health and Social Development, Honorable Ronnie W. Skelton, Minister for Communications and Works, Honorable Mark Van de Poel, at-large Representative, Honorable Archibald Christian, and of course the Chairman of the E-Government Committee, Honorable Marlon Penn. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of all of you who have come, the chairperson, the permanent secretaries. I see that a significant portion of the staff of DeWitt are with us this morning, members of the media, the listening public. It is a privilege and an honor and a pleasure for me to offer congratulatory remarks on the occasion of the launch of the e-government, the official online presence for the government of the Virgin Islands. This launch signals a new day in the way government does business. It marks improved access to official government information through one central hub. Access to government departments informing of the services they provide can now be obtained with a click from the comfort of your home, office, or mobile device. No longer is there a need to remember various web addresses or physically visit an office to obtain information about the services that office offers. Through www.bvi.gov.vg, that information is now available online. In the near future, we will have the capacity to offer services online to the public wherever in the world they may be. The Governors Group remains committed to leading, supporting, and championing quality public service by promoting a public service culture of productivity and accountability. Today, we build on this commitment with the launch of this website. This launch marks phase 1, as the Honorable Premier said, of the e-government initiative, which produces information content and offers centralized information about government services online. I look forward to the launch of Phase 2, which will usher in electronic payment for a number of government services. I am fully aware that reaching today's milestone was no easy feat. So on behalf of the Public Service of the Virgin Islands, I say a big thank you to the government of the Virgin Islands for funding and supporting this initiative, and to the e-Government Steering Committee, headed by the Honorable Marlon Penn, who invested the time and donated his expertise, despite his various other responsibilities, to lead this initiative. On every occasion I asked him to give an update to top managers or to heads of departments, he did so. Whenever I requested a meeting with him, he willingly attended. Thank you, Honorable Penn. And thanks to top managers and heads whose input I believe you found constructive. I also say a big thank you to the dedicated and hardworking staff led by Mrs. Annabel Skelton Malone of the Department of Information Technology, a department with which Honorable Penn worked directly and whose staff served beyond the call, dutifully working nights and weekends in order to accomplish today's milestone. Department of Information and Public Relations, I thank you too for your guidance and for your unstinting service in helping to move this initiative forward to today. The public service is obviously a huge beneficiary of this in providing improved service to the public. And one side benefit is that when I attend the Deputy Governor's Conference in London in March this year, I will no longer have to listen to Montserrat boasting about their e-government facility. I will be able to say that we are well on the way, and that maybe before I go to the conference in March, we may be able to say we are offering all the facilities that we intend. The Deputy Governor's Office will continue to support initiatives that strengthen work processes to ensure quality service is delivered to the public. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam DG. And now I call on the Chairman of the E-Government Steering Committee, Honorable Marlon Penn.
A pleasant good morning to everyone here present today, and those listening live on ZBVI Radio. I would also like to acknowledge those who will be watching this broadcast, this rebroadcast on JTV and the BVIGS website or online on TV station. Before I begin, I would like to formally recognize the presence of some of my colleagues here this morning. Firstly, the Honorable Premier, Honorable Dr. D. Orlando Smith, OBE, our Deputy Governor, Ines B. Archibald, the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Honorable Ronnie Skelton, the Minister of Communication and Works, Honorable Mark Vanterpool, Territorial at-Large Member in the Government, Honorable Archibald Christian, to Permanent Secretaries, Heads of Departments, various government officials, I say a pleasant good morning, and as well to you in the media here present with us this morning. My task today is to provide specifics surrounding the government initiative, what should be expected with this initiative when it goes live. Before I go into the details of my presentation, I think it's important for me to provide a clinical definition, or put as what they say in layman terms, what the phrase e-government really means. E-government is defined as a digital interaction between citizen and their government, between governments and government agencies, between government and citizens, between government and employees, and between government and businesses to promote commerce. Today has become increasingly important to everyday life. Technology has become increasingly important to everyday lives of Virgin Islanders, evidenced by more than 3 in 5 persons owning a smartphone or some type of smart device and being connected to one or more social media networks such as Facebook, WhatsApp, or Twitter. Doing business online and operating in the digital age has become second nature to most people living in the Virgin Islands or doing business in the Virgin Islands. We live in the age of Amazon, Bing, Google, with a data-driven consumer base that requires information at their fingertips and with the click of a button. So, transforming the way government of the Virgin Islands conducted business was not an option, but a necessity, if the Virgin Islands is to remain competitive in the ever-changing global landscape. Today's event represents a monumental step for the government of the Virgin Islands, as we formally launch a major component of our information communication technology strategy with the deployment of phase 1 of our e-government strategy. This initiative will bring government services from behind the walls of the Central Administration Complex from 8:30 to 4:30 to the people of the Virgin Islands at their convenience, whether it's on their smartphones, tablets, laptops, or desktops, in the comfort of their living rooms, library, or even on the beach. 24/7, e-government is here. Our Premier, the Honorable Dr. D. Orlando Smith, is this project's sponsor and driving force behind this e-government initiative, an initiative that will transform the ICT landscape within the government of the Virgin Islands as it relates to the way the government communicates with its citizens, residents, visitors, businesses, and between government agencies. Creating one point of contact for all government-related activities reinforces the Premier's vision of one government, one website, one official online presence. It's the Premier's vision that with today's launch of phase 1 of this multifaceted project, the government of the Virgin Islands will be better equipped to compete in the new economy. Today's phase 1 deployment represents the backbone of the overall e-government strategy and the core from which all other phases will be built. I will briefly outline some of the key attributes, benefits of the first phase of this new portal launch. First, we heard about the new branding. Branding that represents consistency and uniformity across government services, and one that is in keeping with government's overall image, as well as our Premier's vision of one government, one website, one official online presence. Rich content. The site, through its news and media section, will provide accurate, up-to-date information related to government of the Virgin Islands and its affiliates, with searchable videos, press releases, and speeches. It is envisioned that with the archive unit coming on stream, we will have historic visual and audio recordings, and such documents will be available for research and other purposes. Access to government services and forms. The portal provides online access to all government services, outlining various and supporting documents required for accessing those services, and downloadable, printable forms, which will be made available with each service. Improve customer service. Via the live online chat for enhanced customer service to support, to answer questions regarding government services and the site in general. Phase 2. Phase 2 of the Government e-Government initiative will provide online filings. This phase of the project will leverage existing technology already deployed within the government service. For example, our GIS system used by Town and Country Planning Division, Civil Registries CRIS, and Customs CAP system. The objective is to have the systems mentioned above expanded to utilize other governments, to be utilized by other government departments, thus reducing the cost of development of new systems to government, while also providing a seamless integration through our existing portal. Some of the pilot online services that are targeted for Phase 2 are online payment and property tax, the ability to request birth certificates and other registry services online, property and land searches, driver's license renewals, to name a few. Other services will be adopted and deployed as they are developed and tested through a continuous review and assessment process. Phase 2 of this initiative will also deal with cross-ministry integration and the review of deployment of relevant legislative framework to support this initiative. An information and ICT project of this magnitude requires constant review and continuity with the project team and the project structure. To this end, the project structure should remain within the appropriate ministry so that the project continues to get the relevant support it requires to serve the government of the Virgin Islands and its people. More details of the portal and its functionality will be provided through the live demo immediately following my presentation. Executing IT projects is an extremely difficult task, especially ICT projects of this magnitude. Statistics show that more than 68% of projects of mid to large size range fail for various reasons: poor and ambiguous sponsorship, confusing and changing requirements, inadequate skills and resources, poor design or inappropriate use of technology. So for this project to have reached this far is highly commendable. So before I close, I would like to take this opportunity to thank a few individuals who were instrumental to the success of this project. First and foremost, I would like to acknowledge our Honorable Premier for his vision and commitment to this very important project to the benefit of the people of the Virgin Islands, and also for affording me the privilege in sharing in his vision by serving as the chairman of this committee. I would also like to acknowledge and thank the Deputy Governor, Ms. Ines V. Archibald, for her leadership and unwavering and continued support throughout this process. To all the civil servants who assisted and will continue to assist throughout the requirements gathering process, I say thank you. I would also like to thank the e-government team from the Bahamian government, led by IT Director Ms. June Colley, who undertook a similar project just a few years ago and assisted us in navigating through this very difficult project. Her kind assistance helped us to avoid some of the unforeseen pitfalls. Lastly, and by no means least, I would like to recognize a group of highly skilled, dedicated, and motivated civil servants. Before I recognize them, I would like to give a little background about this team. Throughout my professional IT career, I've had the privilege to work with some of the sharpest IT professionals and recognized IT companies from Canada, US, Europe, India, and Singapore. And I say, without fear of contradiction, that the government of the Virgin Islands e-government project team, pound for pound, is as good or even better than some of those IT professionals I have worked with around the world. And I think they need to be commended for their efforts. If I may also add, all the work done on Phase 1 of this e-government project was done by the project team with existing IT infrastructure, resulting in tremendous savings for the government of the Virgin Islands in respect to external software development costs, business requirements gathering, and other development costs. Based on current market rates for the work performed, and these are conservative estimates, the government has saved in the range of over $350,000 to to $500,000 in development and consulting fees by employing this team. The team lead, Ms. Annabelle Skelton Malone, assistant lead, Ms. Lucia Donovan, lead developer, Mr. Craig Cricky and his team. The rest of the team, please stand and be recognized for your efforts. Thank you. I am extremely impressed and proud to have worked with each one of you. I see even greater things on the horizon as we work together to transform the ICT landscape in our territory. Finally, I would like to make an appeal to the people of this territory and those logging on globally. Please visit the site, give us your constructive feedback. We want to ensure that the site offers you a unique user experience and provides the content you require from your government. I thank you for listening. Please enjoy the demo, and I look forward to answering any questions you may have at the later date. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Penn, and I do recognize our Deputy Premier and Minister for Natural Resources and Labor, Dr. the Honorable Kedrick Pickering. And I think this is the moment that we all have been waiting for, and I will call our Honorable Premier to do us the honors.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now that time and I officially give the green light. On behalf of the government of the Virgin Islands, I now officially launch a new, improved, and transformed www.bvi.gov.vg, your portal to government information, news, and services.
Okay, our website is now live. So those of you who are home right now or in your offices, you can log on www.bvi.gov.vg. And I think now we will have that simulation. Hello. Welcome to this tutorial for the government's transformed website, www.bvi.gov.vg. Welcome to the home page. The area of the screen which is currently being viewed is called the rotating banner. The information found is the latest government news. As we scroll down, we'll be able to see user groups. The information in these user groups are services. For example, if I reside in the BVI and I want to import an animal on the Residents tab, I will scroll down to view whatever services are available for the residents of the BVI. Under Topics, I'll type Animal. And I'll click on the search button and wait for my results. Then I'll scroll through the list, find the one that I'm looking for, and click on it. On this page, we'll see the process, and as I scroll down, we'll see the form available on the site that I can click. I will then fill out the information, submit the form to the relevant department. Now, let's look at ministries. We'll find ministries under the menu link entitled Government. Once we click ministries, we'll see all the ministries that are available. Then, let's look at the Ministry of Finance. Once clicked the Ministry of Finance, you will then see the minister responsible for the Ministry of Finance, along with the permanent secretary that's responsible for that ministry. You will also see the vision statement, the mission statement, and the values under that ministry. We will also get to see what's happening within that ministry. Additional information on the ministry page would be services, publications and legislation, frequently asked questions, and events. In the ministries page, once you scroll to the bottom, On the blue banner, you'll see statistical information relevant for that ministry. Other items on the page would be the subjects of the ministry, the departments of the ministry, and any statutory bodies that have to report to the Ministry of Finance. Contact information is also found on the page. If you're interested in seeking employment with the government, you click the job links. All available jobs within the government will be listed. Once you find the job in which you're interested, click on it and a pop-up window will open. In the window, you'll find responsibilities associated with the job in which you're interested. After viewing the job information, and you see that this job is for you, click the Employment Application Service link. You would fill the form out and submit it to the Human Resources Department. Under the Media Center link, all of the news pertaining to the government is here. Once you scroll down, you'll get to see the latest information pertaining to the government. Flyers pertaining to any government event is also on this page. On this page, you'll get to see the latest press releases, bulletins, and statements made by the ministers of government. Additionally, under press, you would get to see photo and captions and YouTube videos related to all government works. If you are in a hurry, use the search window at the top right corner of the home page and type in any word or phrase relating to the topic on which you need information. For example, if you want information on the national dress, type national dress in the window and click the search button. The search results will yield information about that topic. Once you see the results, you would note that national dress is under national symbols. We'll click the link, and on this page, we'll get to see all the national symbols in the Virgin Islands. We look for dress and we click it. Here, you would see a brief description and an image of what the national dress looks like. If you find the text too small to read, you click on the zoom tools on the top right-hand corner of the page next to the search window. Here, you can increase and decrease the size of the text. Back on the home page, if you scroll to the bottom, you would see the contact information. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You will also get to see our latest tweets. And if you're interested in receiving government news, you may subscribe to us by simply clicking the link, filling out the subscription information, and submitting it. And in no time, you will receive government news. Thank you for joining us on this tutorial for www.bvi.gov.bg. One government, one website, one official online presence. Your portal to all of government's information, news, and services. Happy browsing!
That's a beautiful voice on that demo. Oh, it's Dawson. Okay. Good job. There were a couple more features that we would like to demo at this point, just to give you a more in-depth feel of the site and some of the unique functionalities of the site. So I'll ask our lead engineer and software developer, Mr. Cricky, to navigate us to those areas. The first one is, I think, is the electoral map, Mr. Cricky. So, Mr. Cricky, when you navigate towards the electoral, the entire territory, where you'll see where the boundaries of the that season is coming up. So people would like to know where the boundaries are. So this site gives us the ability to go to the specific areas and give you information about that particular area, the representative responsible, and be able to navigate throughout the territory and know which area or district their area lies. The next one is our islands listed on our territories menu. This feature gives mainly our visitors a pictorial view of our territory and the various islands. And when you click on each of the islands, it gives you a historic description of the island, the specific key or territory or area, key things about that area, tourist destination, the different things that have landmarks and so forth. So this is another key feature in the application and or the portal. The next aspect of the site that we're very excited about and fond of is our online chat or live chat, where you have a live customer service rep on, hopefully soon 24/7, to answer the various needs or questions or concerns regarding government services or anything related to the government site. And we'll have a demonstration shortly between our team here in the room. Right now, the chat simulation is you will have to type or send an email to communicate back and forth, but we're looking to add the voice feature to this functionality, so persons could probably do an online call with the customer service rep at the help desk to assist you with whatever needs you might have. Here you go. So you see an instant response from our customer service rep to Mr. Crickie's query. And, like I said, we're looking to add the voice component to this feature shortly. Yeah, he's looking for a job, yeah. So there you go. He sent the relevant information to access our online jobs, all the good jobs we have available in the Ministry of Works, Ministry of Health, at the hospital for the people of the territory. So yeah, already getting instant support from the government. There you go. List to all the jobs and all the available positions we have. So these are the three additional features we thought it was important for us to demonstrate to the public and to you here in the audience. And we'll now open up for any questions that the media might have on this initiative.
Good morning. Sean Rose, JTV News. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm very confident that you would have done this, but I should ask the question anyway. Given the nature of the information that you're posting online, very sensitive information, many of which will have a value attached in terms of conducting transactions and so forth, how can you assure the Virgin Islands community that you have very strong safeguards? We know even the US can be hacked, but you have strong safeguards in place to prevent incidents of hacking and so forth.
It's a good question, and one of the key elements that we looked at when we were developing the site was security. The government still maintains its current security infrastructure. We're also looking at encryption in terms of the data transmission when it relates to transferring payments and so forth. So we're looking at best practice as it relates to security. We have some of the best security tools from different vendors. I wouldn't want to share that with the public, but we have some very best-in-breed security tools that we use within the government service currently. So we've already looked into that aspect of security. It's very important to us and critical to us with this project.
Malika McPherson, the Atlanta newspaper, as was alluded to by the Deputy Governor, in terms of phase 2 being rolled out hopefully before or by March. Can you give us an idea if this will be possible? Because that's the one area I know the Sister Islands particularly are excited about.
I don't want to give a specific timeline in terms of the rollout of phase 2, but I just want the public to know that we're aggressively working on that strategy. There are some departments that are closer than others in relating to some of the services that can be offered. And the key component for us is to have in place a central payment gateway that will facilitate the collection of payments online. So we're now working through those details with a group out of the OCS who's already done a development in this area to see how that process could work for us. And we're looking at some other options as well. So once the payment gateway is in place, it'll be easier for us to transition the departments who have already far along the process, like the Civil Registry, the custom systems, and so forth, to get them online as far as transmitting some of their services online currently.
Just to follow up, would the statutory bodies be included in this, particularly everything of the BVI-EC, for example?
Not at this point, where we're creating a bridge to the statutory organizations through the ministries that are responsible for those organizations, but in terms of direct ownership of their sites and so forth, we're not doing that in this phase at all, actually.
Honorable Penn, you referred to the possibility of having a team or an individual managing the site on a daily basis and responses. What is in place now, and how soon will this be done, and what are some of the opportunities you're seeing for employment and so forth?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Currently, we're using the current project team to pilot this initiative to manage the aspects of the site. We're currently looking to expand the overall management of the site throughout the ministries to have what we call SMEs, subject matter experts, responsible from each ministry, responsible for the content and the management of the overall site. Of course, a project like this is require training. We have to go through a training process of those individuals, to identify those individuals, and ensure they meet the criteria to be able to deliver the service. And that's a new opportunity for an existing employee or persons who may be looking for an opportunity within the service. So we're in the long term, we are looking at having what we call a cadre of CIOs, persons who are responsible for managing the information of government. Those persons will be responsible, for instance, if we have legislative changes, to see where the changes have to be made within the processes. So there might be a change with forms, new forms, a new process, and that has to be integrated within the system. So there needs to be someone responsible for ensuring that that change happens when the legislations change. So we're looking at that framework to be able to make that happen.
Honorable Penn, from time to time the government seeks public input on various initiatives. Would there be a polling system or anything like that to get that sort of feedback?
We have the online chat as you saw, and we're going to have a feature to allow for, like, what they call it, constructive feedback. Or even if you just want to rag the site, or whatever that feedback might be, we'll look forward to any critique, feedback, or any concern you might have in terms of flow of content, the type of content that is there, or content that might be missing from this site. So we're open to feedback, and it's a continuous process of improvement, re-engineering, and so forth. Technology is constant, it's ever changing, so it's always good for us to get the necessary feedback to stay on top of our game and on the cutting edge.
And just to query on something you mentioned, in terms of the civil registry, you noted birth certificate requests. How about wedding certificates, etc.? Since the Premier did mention that the territory wants to go into that niche market.
Yeah, we're open to all processes, and once the framework is in place to ensure that those services could be offered online and so forth, we're open to releasing that to facilitate commerce within the territory. One of the key components of this site is to facilitate commerce back and forth between the government and its stakeholders, and we look forward to, if not having all of our services online, if that's possible. As you know, the financial services currently offer all their services online. All the incorporation, pre-incorporation services are online, and they're currently moving towards the regulatory side of things. So we've already done this within the territories, just for us now to get or step our game up in the government to have our services online.
Ngovo Gang from the Beacon newspaper. Good morning. How was traffic like on the former website, and how do you hope to sort of push traffic to this one here? Traffic
was okay on the other site, but I think with a lot of the rich content that we have and all our new offerings, we foresee to have an exponential increase in traffic. Thus, we've made provision to expand the bandwidth. So we have dedicated bandwidth to accommodate the increased traffic that we hope to get, that we know we would get, because, I mean, you look at the site, it's a beautiful and exciting site. Who wouldn't want to come to this site?
All right, you mentioned that you use in-house expertise a lot, and you also mentioned the savings savings for government.
Yeah.
But what was the overall cost of this project?
The overall cost was just a server. And if you really count the man hours that went in from the team from Do It and so forth, I think it's a tremendous saving to us in terms of soft costs. I said $350,000 to $500,000, but that's very conservative. Some of the estimates that we got was over $1 million to actually deploy phase 1. So we save a tremendous amount of money by using the great expertise that we already had within Do It. I mean, the government spent a lot of money to train these good young people, and they proved their worth.
Okay, so with the training and with everything, how much did the project really cost?
To really, in terms of, well, we like I said, we didn't, if we were to quantify the hours that went in, it would have been somewhere in the range of $500,000+. But in terms of the actual equipment that we purchased for the project, we used existing resources that we had already purchased. So for instance, the tools, software tools to use to develop the site was tools that we had already within the government. Most of the infrastructure is infrastructure we already own. The only new infrastructure that we got was the actual server that we're using now to facilitate the hosting of the site, and the actual increase in bandwidth. And I don't have those specific numbers for you in terms of the server and the bandwidth right now.
Estimates?
I don't want to misquote, so I don't want to give you an estimate. It's in the range of.
The server cost us $12,000 plus 13 seats side.
Okay, and with the increase in bandwidth, you'd say?
It's 1,500 extra, which is about 4,000 a month per bandwidth.
So it would be safe to not just assume or conclude that the website costs at least 14,000.
Yeah. But you have to consider this is infrastructure we would have to get anyway to facilitate the project.
So this was just what was bought?
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't put into account the hours that was placed in.
No.
Okay.
And like I said, those hours, based on our conservative estimate, is well over $500,000.
Okay, so going back to the services that you would provide, in terms of labor services, so anyone can go onto the website now and download labor forms and have, to an extent, some service rendered?
The reality is that we did a lot of the business requirements in-house, and we're still having some of the departments review those requirements. So we have some of the departments online, and we're waiting for feedback from the other departments so that we could then put that information online. So we want to ensure that we have accurate information before we publish those forms and so forth, and the processes. We need to ensure that the processes are accurate and they're lined up with what the legislation says that we should do. We have a lot of processes where we've done things a certain way for so long, and we've not taken into account the changes in legislation, and some of those processes will need to be revised. So we're looking at those changes and ensure that we have the right processes so we're not putting out the wrong information to the public.
So eventually you think any random, well, not random person, but anyone can actually go and submit their labor forms online? So
that is our vision. Once we have the relevant vetting of the content and so forth and it's published, that is our vision, to have all those forms and services accessed online.
Honorable Penn, would there be automated response to certain form submission? And the reason I'm asking this question, because persons complain that even when they send in certain things to certain ministries as it stands now, they don't get responses.
Yeah.
Would there be any form of measure to let them know that their document or submission was received?
Yes, there are functionalities and there are features where you could have automated notifications of receipt of information. We could have those in, and there might be even services where we could have automatic approvals based on a level of service. So we would have those functionalities incorporated as we see the need as the need arises as it fits with that particular service. So yes, there will have those type of features with the system. I thank you for your questions.
Okay, Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Penn. And at this time, I wish to thank everyone for joining us today here in the Premier's conference room, and for those of you who have been listening to us via ZBVI Radio and on the World Wide Web on www.zbviradio.com. Our website is now live, www.bvi.gov.vg, and we're your portal to government services, information, and news. And with all of that said, all that is left for me to say is happy browsing.